is going to be scuffed as hell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host for today's broadcast, InsaneLear13, and sadly, we have a scuffed broadcast here for Stint 5. Due to some sort of issue with the lobby, I could not get right into the lobby right away. I ended up having to wait a significant period of time, so any action that may have occurred early on, I have completely missed, and I do apologize for that. At this stage of the event, we're kind of in a frustrating position where we can't actually see the paint schemes on the majority of the cars in the field. All of the Mercedes look the exact bloody same outside of Token Abyss's Mercedes, Token Abyss here. So actually identifying what driver is on what team is going to be just about impossible, and any hope that I had of actually giving you an idea as to where everyone is basically going to be dead. I do apologize. I was under the impression that today's event was going to be like the 2024 9 hours of Kyalami, where there would be no reset stints over the 5-hour event. So because of that, I got double booked for broadcasting, and I've missed a significant amount of time in the process. So everyone has made their first stop, apparently, with the exception of Botatron, who is still out on what we believe are medium tires right now. We still have about an hour and 17 minutes left in the event, so we will try to keep you back up to pace on anything else. Again, I do apologize for the variety of issues. In the GT5 category, your leader right now is JJ Fireball in the Excite entry, followed by AMS Bread in the Porsche, then RM Lynx in the Mobile number 39, then Postal Penguin 83, who is in the 313, and apparently that order is not quite right, then Chris Hokage, who is in the Apex entry. We do anticipate that this entry is the one that should end up walking off with the stint, with the overall lobby win out of all of the GT5 cars here in the C lobby. It's going to be a lot harder to tell what it's going to be like, though, in the GT4 category right now. Of note, we do want to keep an eye on the Aston Martins. That's a Toyota, that's not an Aston Martin. There we are. This Aston Martin, RZR Rostad's. No guarantee, but we think this is the entry that is the best off when it comes to overall stint distances right now. For the overall stint itself, Darkster has re-inherited the lead and has a gigantic gap over the rest of the field. Basically, it's very likely that Darkster is going to walk off with this, and this is the other thing. If Darkster is able to walk off with this and RZR Rasta continues to stay as far back as he is right now, oh wait, is only the top... Oh, wow. I don't know if the ticker is accurate or not. I don't think it is, but the game seems to think that, only the top 3 drivers are on the lead lap. Oh, and now it's adjusting? Okay, so I'm not even sure if the game knows where everyone actually is. But I do know this, someone has gone off, and that is TBR Monkey, who has had an accident in turn 1. Once again, that car is absolutely destroyed. Unanimate. Finally getting back underway here. sorry, not unanimate, TBR Monkey finally getting back underway here. But is going to likely see himself drop to last or next to last here in the field. Yeah, no, he is now last in the GT4 field. So frustration there for Monkey with that level of damage. It seems very obvious to me that the ticker has no idea where anyone is. And considering that I missed the start of this race because of the issues, I have no idea where anyone is. So I do apologize, but I cannot give you a single bit of information about how this race is going. The only thing I can tell you is that SFM Darkster is leading. It appears that FRA Deerplot is running in second. And other than that, every other position, I have no idea. This has had a bit of a moment off into the dirt there in the hairpin. Excuse me. Fireball is... I don't know if Fireball's coming right now. Ticker is completely useless. I'm sorry, and because of that, I have no idea where anyone is. The game is saying that right now, AMS Bread is leading in the GT5 category. A little bit of contact with Raven's machine there. Ooh, that's a shunt. Won't damage the car, I imagine. That kills the momentum. Is that Postal Penguin? If that is Postal Penguin, then this might be the fight for the win. It's really hard to tell. NWR Berkey is in pit lane right now. This car won Stint 4. We have had 4 different Stint winners across the 4 stints that we have already covered. But with Berkey way down here in 12th, again, I don't know how accurate that is or not. This is a little bit in the midfield here. This is RZR Rostuds and Evo going at it. Again, Rostuds is in the HYR entry that we believe is fighting directly with Darkster for overall win right now. But with the size of the gaps in the field, I have a feeling that Darkster might be able to put that McLaren up at the top. Oh wow, both of them absolutely herked it over the curb and got 2 tires well into the air there. Not quite able to make a move here on the back straightaway. So they're going to try and set it up to go for a big drafting maneuver here. Oh, H-Wire's another big slide. So Evo's going to try and set something up to make a big run on Rustud's here, I imagine, going into turn 2. He's got the draft, not close enough to do it in turn 1, but might be able to throw it in on turn 2. Not close enough. And both of them slide wide. Keep the car under them and keep it going, though. Pirari making a stop farther back in the field, but here's the move. Evo forces their way by Rostuds. Nice, simple, no contact, no nothing. Now Rostuds has to see if he can figure out a way to get back, or if the Mercedes is faster, maybe you just hang out in their tire tracks, let their draft pull you along the circuit here. Seems like a lot of drivers in this stint elected to throw on medium tires for either their first or second run. So it seems like the overall strategy has absolutely flattened down. Just being, hey, just run the medium tires in one of your first 2 stints and then just run softs the rest of the time. Here comes Rostuds back to the inside of Evo. They'll be neck and neck into turn 1. There's a little bit of contact. Evo has it. Rostuds gives Evo a little bit of a shunt to the rear. But by virtue of backing out, that seems to have pretty much ended that. Okay, so it's either Fireball or Bread leading in the GT5 category, and I cannot tell which one it actually is. Game says Fireball. I cannot prove that is actually the case. I have no doubt that SFM Darkster is leading. It is every other position that I have no guarantee where they all are. Alright, Evo goes right back by Rostuds there. That would explain it. Tire fall off on that right front. Evo on the other hoof. Still has a little bit, not a lot, but still has a little bit of life left, but they're both going to come in at the same time. Okay, so now Darkster pits, and it looks like it will be FRA Deerplot who will go and move into the lead of the race by virtue of having not yet made the stop. Oh, I can actually see the paint scheme on this car now. Nice. So this is the car, FRA Deerplot, who is now leading. Then this one, Botatron, is in second right now. Finally, some of the paint schemes are starting to load back in. This is the, I believe, the FTC entry. Yes, it is the FTC entry. Then you have CBL Flume here, who has been in this yellow Mercedes. I almost said Ferrari because we've had a driver called Ferrari running in this thing for some time. This duo continues to go back and forth. And the main reason I'm focusing on this is A, I actually know these two are fighting for position, and B, Rostuds is fighting with Darkster for overall stint victory right now. And unless Rostuds can figure out a way to really turn things around here, it's not what I wanted. unless Rostuds can figure out a way to really turn things around here, it's looking like Darkster is going to get this. Darkster is the highest up of everyone who has already made 2 stops at this stage of the event. A little more than a third of the way through the stint right now. Does look like Rostuds has position over Evo, but having position is one thing. Tour events are all about overall distance, and you want to minimize the amount of time spent fighting, which is what we saw the NWR guys do to win Stint 4. Now, we don't anticipate the NWR team is in any position to really fight for the overall win. This continues to be the most interesting fight to watch right now, although there is this little thing going on here with Unanimate and Mashiro V7. Alright, whatever. FRA Deerplot finally is pitting out of the lead of the event, so that will likely turn the lead over to Botnatron unless they elect to pit at the same time. They can probably stay out for a few more laps and inherit the overall lead. What the hell is that? Jesus Christ! Who put wings on a spider? I don't know where it went. I didn't know spiders had wings that could fly. Alright. I'm gonna have to hope that thing doesn't decide to land on me or my TV or something. I apologize for that. Anyways, Botnatron has yet to make their second stop, so they have inherited the lead of the event thus far. Darkster runs in second position, and Deerplot runs in third, a little bit behind Darkster right now, but should have a bit of a tire advantage. That Botnatron will be hitting next lap by. So right now, our top 3 on the grid is accurate. Rostad still holds station over Evo right now, as they are cutting their way through the GT traffic. UDP Saki finally making a stop. I'll drop Saki down the order a bit. JK Fireball making a pit stop. So here comes AMS Brad, who's also going to join him. So does Postal Penguin. So what of Chris Okage, who is fourth? They are also going to pit this time by what of area of effect mutiny? Yeah, you're also going to pick. So literally the entirety of the GT5 category, except for RM Links, pits at the same time. RM Links will likely be able to stay out. How many positions is he going to pick up by staying out is the big question. Well, it's not really by staying out. It's more that he's already made his second stop. JJ Fireball is already out of the pits. The Lynx has moved up to second already, but is not anywhere close to Fireball. Well, I say that Fireball is the very next car off, and Fireball is into the dirt right ahead. And here comes RM Lynx. Here comes Lynx on Fireball. Excite in that pink machine versus that mobile one, number 39. Fireball crosses him over on exit. Good move there. Botatron making their second stop now. So now every single GT car has made their required 2 out of 4 stops. So Fireball holding station over Lynx for now, but not by much. Lynx can see Fireball ahead. It should be close enough to get a chance to try and run him back down. CBL Flume has had a disconnect as well. We do apologize for missing that when it happened. Bit of a hiccup there by Lynx. Okay, it does look like the game has properly registered the order of our top 3. SFM Darkster leads, followed by FRA Deerplot, and in third place is Botatron. The 3 of them are kind of in a zone of their own. Unless Unanimate is way higher up the grid than I think they are. Although in that case, that would mean that Botatron is way farther down the grid than I would think as well. Botatron could actually be as far down as 6th position. And if so, that would actually bump Rostuds and Evo up a little bit more. It's really hard to tell. But anyways, Lynx still trying to figure out a way to catch back up to Fireball just ahead. He's right on board with Lynx here. Oh, and Lynx is coming into the pits now. So Lynx is making their 3rd stop. They should cycle them way back down the order. I wonder if Lynx had an accident that I missed. And the game thinks he's on the lead lap, but he's really not. By the way, JJ Fireball then should be our leader, with AMS Bread 2nd, and then 3rd being Postal Penguin. That's what we believe would be the case. Penguin washing bread in the lone Porsche in the entire event. Penguin trying to figure out a way how to close up and sneak by. And then if you go down the order, like we said earlier, Chris Okage here is in the car that we anticipate would win overall in the bottom category. SFM Darkster leads. Mercedes has won 2 stints thus far, though it was with different drivers. If McLaren can pull off a victory, it would be the first repeat stint winner today. And the gap between Darkster and Rosted's is only gradually getting bigger and bigger. I think it could be very possible that we are looking at a scenario where Darkster clips Rosted's, and in turn, Darkster's team clips the HYR guys and steals the win here. Going along on fuel and tires right now. While we're in a little bit of a lull in the action, we're going to go ahead and knock out an ad break. We'll be back shortly here at Sunset Peninsula. I wonder if Batatron is actually back here in 6th, behind Evo, trying to get by him for the 5th position here, which would move on Animate, Rosted's all up the order one. I really am starting to think that that's actually the case that we're looking at here. Anyways, Rosted's gets by that Audi GT5 car nicely and quickly, and that holds up Evo, and it looks like that would let Bot go ahead and move by. Again, we think that would put Batatron in what would overall be 6th or 5th position, I mean. We think. Based on how they are racing. But now we see Evo get back by. So it would push him down to 6th. What we think is the case here. For those of you who have not been with us, there have been a lot of interesting events throughout the day, and I've really had trouble keeping up with them all. The NWR team was on track for a podium in Stint 1, only to have a disconnect at 10 minutes left, but they have bounced back and had some solid run sets, including winning in Stint 4. The winners in Stint 1 for both categories ended up trying to go back-to-back in Stint 2, and both of them lagged out. They were the only lag-outs in Stint 2. We have had 4 different Stint winners in the A lobby, and we have had quite a few single-car incidents in these sets of corners that you're looking at right now, but nothing absolutely catastrophic in the form of a top driver getting completely screwed over. Darksters was probably the closest. He was on track for 2nd in Stint 1, had an accident, and that screwed over his pit stop strategy and dropped him to a close but still 3rd instead of a far out 2nd. Sadly, we did miss the opening bits of this stint due to setup issues by the lobby host. SF and Darkser making his third stop of the day already. This was a strategy that worked out well for some drivers, dumping all your softs early on, building up a giant gap, and then throwing on mediums later and letting them slowly reel you down when there's just not enough time. The other option is that Darkser could be on a 5-stop strategy, and if he is going to commit to a 5-stop strategy, then he would still need 2 more pit stops to make. Unanimate jumped into pits, as did RZR Rostuds. So we believe that will put FRA Deerplot back into the lead of the event now. As far as we can tell, Deerplot has only made 2 stops. We believe one of their first stints were on the medium tires. Bottatron would be back there. And, well, no, Bottatron might actually be second on merit. I think he'd be third. No, he'd be second on merit. Yeah. Granted, the merit is that he's not hitting yet. JJ Fireball, according to our ticker at least, is still the leader here in the GT5 category, has maintained their advantage over AMS Bread for a while. Bread in the lone Porsche has really been struggling out here. But gradually, as this event has gone on, this Porsche entry has gotten better and better. Might get a top 20 overall of the GT5 teams, just off the back of having no disconnects, honestly, with the way this is going. You've got 4 lobbies, and each lobby has 7 cars. You're looking at 28. So, yeah, top 20 is very much in the cards for AMS Spread if you just don't have any disconnects throughout the event. Evo going ahead and making a stop. Whereas this put them in relation to RZR Rostuds, who they had been fighting with earlier. Rostuds clears Evo and actually opens up the gap just a little bit. But again, with Darkser poised to take home this win potentially, it may not matter. The game is saying that Postal Penguin is a lap behind Bread, but is ahead of him on the track. I don't think that's likely. I think it's more likely that Bread might actually be third, and Postal Penguin is running in second on track at the moment. About 45 minutes left in this stint. In the middle of everyone's third round of pit stops right now, with FRA Deerplot currently being your leader. This is, if my memory serves correctly, this was the driver that won stint number 1, but then disconnected in stint 2. So fast but unreliable. Definitely a frustrating conundrum to be caught in any of these events. That is a big slide, and he went right off. Big slide by Deerplot, and he just goes right off. Now, there's no one else around him to really capitalize, but Deerplot who's trying to set themselves up for a run for second. That's just not going to help with overall distance. And if Darkster has a incident, well, that kind of hurts Deerplot's ability to close in, because now the two of them would be a little bit more even on incidents. Big twitch, big slide there. You have to wonder how hard is the driver of the orange 415 Mustang pushing? Well, look at the tires. There's your answer. Will likely be pitting on this circuit here. And that would mean that he would have about 42 minutes to knock out one more stop. So you could probably throw on mediums and then mediums. No, mediums and softs. One stint on mediums, one stint on softs, and he would be good. Alright, yep, here we are. Deerplot coming in. So that should put the good lead back to SFM Darkster. And this Balatron has just stayed out for so much longer. Yeah, okay, Balatron will probably inherit the lead on merit just by virtue of going super far. But Darkster is going to be your overall net leader. And again, unless something crazy happens, he's very highly anticipated to walk off with this stint. His fourth place, Token Abyss, who's going to be coming in this time for sure. No? With less than 5% in the tank, and with those tires at 64%, you would think he would come in now. But, okay, I can't force him. Of all the choices to make, this is definitely one of them. He's already done a stint on the mediums and 2 stints on the softs, which means he can do one more medium and one more soft to the end. And that's if you're making it a 4-stop. Well, he's really sliding around and bleeding out a lot of time right now. This is not helping him in any way. AMS Bread and Poster Penguin continuing to have a little bit of a fight for what we believe is the second position on track here. But Bread is not really pushing the Porsche to the absolute bleeding limit. I think he's kind of walked back his pace a little bit just to avoid and minimize any incidents. Alright, closing up on Bread once more. Going down the back straightaway here. Token Abyss finally paying out of the 4th position. Nose to bumper. Here comes Red, and I think he's going to get him in turn 1. Yes, he does. Actually, completes the overtake before turn 1, drops tires into the dirt. But Penguin is not in a position to cross him back over in turn 2. So yeah, Brett is now officially in second in the GT5 category. It would be wild if this was actually the fight for the position and JJ Fireball is actually like about to go a lap down, but I don't think that's actually the case right now. Balatron finally making a stop, so SFM Darkster will absolutely take the lead of the event back over in his McLaren. Cross Studs still hanging out way back here in the 5th position. sorry, 6th position, although he'll inherit a spot likely over Bottatron momentarily here. But the gap between Rostuds and Darkster has only continued to grow as this has gone on. So everyone in the top 6 has made their mandatory, 3 of their mandatory stops. We're still waiting on Saki here to make a stop. Saki's one of the interesting drivers in the Mercedes. Most drivers here are burning up their left fronts faster than their left rears, or they're burning their lefts at the same rate. Saki is one of the very few number of drivers who are burning up that left rear faster than the left front. And it definitely makes that car evil to handle late in the run. Like right now you can see it, that rear end really walking around and sliding around. Alright, so there's Saki coming in. So now the focus goes to Mashiro. Mashiro, who's running what the game says is 9th right now in that Supra, the only Toyota in the field. Will likely have to pit this time because they're just about out of fuel apparently. And they will make it. But boy, want to talk about playing it close. Basically ran themselves out of fuel just before coming in. So, your order is SFM Darkster, followed by Deerplot, and then we believe Unanimate is currently running 3rd right now on merit here in the Alpine machine. Then it would be Rostuds, Evo, and then, well no, then it would be Bottatron, then Rostuds, then Evil. So just swap Bot and Unanimate, and we think that's what the order is looking like right now. 36 minutes left. If you just got done pitting, you can run 18 minutes of soft tires, dump in, throw a new set of softs on, and run 18 minutes again. And that would be the end, but a lot of drivers are not perfectly timed out. We believe a lot of people are going to go for a set on the medium and a set on the softs to the end here at Sunset Peninsula. Welcome back to the scuffed broadcast here of Stint 5 for the C lobby here for Tora's 10 Hours of Sunset, where they took a series of road racing cars and built them into the GT4 spec, and then a different set of GT cars and built them into what they call the GT5 spec. Definitely an interesting choice. I will say the GT4 cars did not race very well in Stint 1, but as this has gone on, they've gotten gradually better and better, and in Stint 4 they actually were very competitive and very punchy amongst each other. The bottom category honestly has some really fantastic cars for fighting. The only downside is that I will say the skill gap and the strategy gap is so big in the GT5 category that you've not seen a lot of long prolonged battles or back and forth strategy fights play out in the bottom category. It's kind of been a case of 1 or 2 or 3 guys kind of walk off, and there might be a fight in the midfield, but generally GT5 just doesn't have enough drivers, I feel, to really make it super engaging. Almost feels like an inverse of what you would normally get for Tora. Normally in a Tora event you have the top category is like a prototype category, and those aren't very popular, and then the bottom category is a GT or like a GT3 or a GTE category. Those are super popular. Here, seems like it's an inverse. It seems like the GT category is the one that everyone cares about the most. So TBR Monkey and NWR Birchie knocking out will be their 4th stops And with 35 minutes left in the event, they're both going to have to commit to making a fifth stop at some point in this event. Now, we saw Moki have that really, really big incident earlier in turn 1, so we knew that their day has been basically derailed due to that accident. For everyone up for Berkey, though, we're not 100% sure what's going on there, if they're on a 5-stop or if it was an accident that we missed or something. Berkey has ended up behind Ferrari, so I imagine that Ferrari is going to be ahead of Berkey, even though the game says that it is not. There it is, now it's fixed itself. And Unanimate pits out of what we believe is the 3rd position, making their 4th stop. So Unanimate likely locking themselves into a 5-stop strategy over the course of the race today as well. So as this goes on, we're going to go ahead and this. Yeah. All right. Spider locked outside. Flying spiders are done. That's not a spider. Only 6 legs. Whatever. That's done for now. So Deerplot runs in 2nd position, not too far off of SFM Darkser, but not close enough to put any direct pressure on Darkser. The big thing is Darkser, we don't know what his strategy is going to be. Is he going to commit to a 5-stop, or is he committing to a... Well, he's coming in now, and we still have 32 minutes left in the event. I think that Darkser is going to commit to a 5-stop, unless he thinks he can do something Herculean with the medium tires. I think Darkser is committing to a 5-stop strategy, potentially. So Deerplot, who has been staying out on track a little bit longer, still has quite a bit of fuel and tire life left. We'll see him go to the lead here. So Deerplot to the top. And we believe he is on a set of medium tires right now. We don't know if Deerplot's going to go back-to-back mediums or if he's going to try and go medium softs. But that seems to be his strategy right now. Through the drag strip section here. So the game seems to think that Botatron is leading. That is very much not the case. It is Deerplot who is leading right now. It is Deerplot followed by Darkser. Then it is Botatron. Then Evo. Then Token Abyss, Ultimate, Rostuds, Saki, Mashiro, no, Berkey, then Mashiro. Ferrari, Berkey, Mashiro. Moki, I think, is a lap down to the wall, and that would be it. Only 12 of our 14 stars in the top category are still running. When it comes to the Mercedes Mafia, it looks like Mercedes is still set up to take potentially 4 of the top 5 finishing positions here today. But Darkser could be the chink in the armor. I'm sorry, Darkser could be the dent in the armor that could steal it and might be able to take the stint win irregardless. Evo in the pits now. Things a little bit calmer now. Most of the field's nice and spread out at this stage of the event. Although it is worth noting that Berkey runs here behind Ferrari and Moki. Again, we think that Moki is a lap down after the big accident earlier, so it would really just be Berkey and Ferrari having a bit of a fight here. Mercedes on acid action here. relatively tight there through turn 1 is Berkey, as he's really hooking it to try and make something happen here. Ferrari ahead. These drivers look like they're at risk of going a lap down to Deerplot, potentially, depending on what Deerplot's strategy is. Remember, Berkey has made 4 stops, and we know that they're basically guaranteed to make 5th due to the way that everything has worked out. Same thing with Lynx. In the period of this stint before I was able to get in and broadcast, we guessed that Lynx had an accident which has completely derailed their run. It's trapped them basically way down the order in the bottom category. We think there may have been something like similar to that happening with Berkey, which has mandated them to have to do a 5-stop strategy. Alright, so Ferrari now clears Milky, CBR Milky here. Doesn't look like Berkey's really able to do anything in this fight. This is elsewhere. This is Uninanimate. Running just a little bit behind Token Abyss. Trying to play spoiler. Frustrating time for this Alpine entry driven by the Apex team drivers. They've had speed, they've had pace, they've been able to do a lot of stuff, but they've just not been able to tie it all together into a win. We've seen them have good strategy, but not good race etiquette. We've seen them have good race ability, but not good strategy. And it feels like this final stint's going to be another continuation of that. That Alpine honestly handles almost like it's a GT5 car, just with way more power than it needs to have. It makes watching it fly around here really unique and interesting. Deerplot continues to lead here. They have now set, that is, what is that? That is Mashiro. P7, a lap down. We're going to go ahead and ride on board with a lap with Deerplot. Give me an idea what flying lap is like on board the driver who could pull off the free win here at sunset. So, in the bottom category, Bread is starting to lose a bit of pace to slip down to a very distant third. Postal Penguin here in second seems to have really put it together. We've seen him manually drive down to Bread, overtake him, and now is opening the gap and closing down on JJ Fireball, who, at least according to the game, seems to be the leader right now in GT5. So there could be a possibility we see a bit of a fight for lead between these two. Fireball, almost at 50% of the tire life. Postal Penguin, he is at almost the exact same. A little bit of contact with one of the GT4 cars. That's not a way to earn any favors. Yeah, Postal Penguin trying to make something happen here to maybe steal a top result. Evo continues to run just a little bit behind Studs for what should be the 5th position right now. And while the game says Bototron is leading, he is really second just off the back of running super long on strategy right now. And will probably be pinning at the end of this lap, I imagine. Deerplot is your leader on an alternate strategy. Still has yet to make one more stop. And it is looking like when he does choose to make a stop, he will likely throw on a set of softs maybe and just go softs to the end. And this could work out in Deerplot's favor. Darkster may not have the pace to just go down and beat Deerplot on merit and outrun an extra pit stop. So that would be the 3rd different win by a Mercedes entry if Deerplot makes that happen. But there's still 22 minutes left. Also, there's still about 12 minutes left to knock out your final round of required pit stops in the stage here. Of course, the only guy in the top 7 has yet to actually make his 4th stop. But again, we're anticipating that he's going to push off as late as possible. Another driver doing something similar, UDP Saki here. I do not envy this man whatsoever. They have been burning up that left rear tire. It makes the handling that thing absolutely evil. Then you have Mashiro V7, who's recently gone a lap down. They still have yet to make their final required stop. And Ferrari, way down the 11th, still has yet to make their final required stop. In the bottom category, it is GT5. JJ Fireball trying to stay ahead of Postal Penguin, who has absolutely trashed the distance between themselves and AMS Bread. Those three all have yet to make their final stops. We anticipate that Fireball and Penguin will make their final stops at roughly the same point in a few laps. Basically, if you're going to pit not this lap, but a lap from now, more than likely you will throw on soft tires and make those softs last to the end. And we look at SFM Darkster real quickly. His tires are at 43%. That's not enough to carry him to the end. He's going to have to pit. He is basically locked to a 5-stop strategy. For Deerplot, he's likely going to be paying a little bit sooner than Darkster. Maybe not this time. We'll probably be another lap or two. And that was Ferrari finally ducking in. Only 2 disconnects throughout this event. RV and Fion and CDL Flume, 2 drivers from the Mercedes Mafia. The rest of the Mercedes Mafia was a little bit hard to tell exactly, but it's looking like we could be looking at 2 of them finishing on the podium. But we're not sure yet if one of them is going to steal another stint win here. 9 Mercedes out of the 9 of the drivers in GT4 entered in Mercedes. And now we just wait to see when Deerplot goes ahead and makes their stop. Shiro making their final stop, and here we are, our three drivers leading the pack in the bottom category, finally making their final round of stops. Really, it's just Saki along with Chris Hokage and AOE Mutami, who are waiting to see knock out their last required stops. Although again, Darkser, we are almost 100% confident that they are on a 5-stop strategy here. 18 minutes left in the event. Smoke them if you got them. If your tires are not going to last to the end, throw on some softs now and run those to the end. I imagine we'll see Deerplot doing that shortly. I imagine Darkser will be doing roughly the same in just a bit. Unanimate runs in third right now. Can they make it to the end of their tires? No way. They are most definitely going to have to do another stop. So this is another driver who should be on a 5-stop strategy. Big slide out of the back of the Alpine there. Alright, here we are, Unanimate coming into the pits this time now. So he'll jump onto the softs a little earlier than everyone else. Still about 6.5 minutes left for Deerplot to get off. Oh, slap on the wall. 6.5 minutes left for Deerplot to get off these tires. Usually he's doing, he would do it now. Same with Darkser. Botatron now moves up into third on merit. Rostuds has gone ahead, making their final stop. They are also on a 5-stop strategy, but Evo has stayed out. Evo is on a... he's going to also probably be running a 5-stop strategy. There's no way he can make it to the end for another 16 minutes on those burnt-out tires. Still waiting on Saki to make their final stop. They are taking quite some time, just really feeling out these tires. All right, here we are. Deerplot finally in the pits. What about Darkser? The gap is big enough, we might see Deerplot actually beat Darkser overall here. By virtue of just making less stops. Yep, here comes Darkser in this time. So, Botatron, I don't think he's in a position to overtake either of those two. I think he's too far back. It is just Darkser versus Deerplot, and it's looking to me like Deerplot has got him. And by a significant margin at that. The extra pit stop has not worked out in Darkser's favor, it would appear. Alright, well, with that in mind, almost everyone has made their last of their stops to the end. Still waiting on Saki. Once Saki makes a stop, they're likely going to drop back into the realm of Rostuds, if not all the way back to Birchie. And there we are, Saki coming into the pits now. RM Lynx currently leads in the bottom category, but they will have to pit. They have been forced into a 5-stop strategy due to what we believe was an accident before the broadcast here of Stint 5 began. Botatron is not that far behind Darkser right now. Yeah, if things get weird enough, we could see Botatron go up there and actually try to take a fight to Darkseid. Ooh, the Excite card bounces off the outside wall. That's Fireball, mind you. Right in the Bototron's path. Darkser muscling his way around one of the lower category cars. Evo making their final stop. So with this in mind, everyone should have knocked out their final stop. So we're going to go ahead and knock out one more ad break. After this, we should be able to stay with this all the way to the end here with a little less than 13 minutes. Don't go away. We'll be back shortly here at Sunset Peninsula Roval. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sunset Peninsula. We are in the closing moments here. About 11 minutes left. It has been a 10-hour endurance event for both drivers and cars and officials. We do want to give a shout of thanks to Darkser and Inku for being willing to host all 5 lobbies between the two of each other. They're also sharing the same McLaren entry. And Darkser looks like he's going to pull off another podium result, and I think might be well enough off to take home a potential win, a potential overall win out of everyone in the GT4 category in the C lobby. Won't guarantee that yet, but I think that's what we are looking at right now. Especially as Rostuds has continued to fall backwards down the grid here. Deer Plot, we believe, is the actual leader right now. When it comes to tires, Darkser has a bit of an advantage, but likely not enough of anything to let him close down on Deer Plot. Now again, I could be reading this wrong. Data that I'm getting could be completely wrong because I did not be here right at the start. The ticker is not anywhere close to accurate. But from what I've been able to work out, it looks like FRA Deer Plot is on track to win this stint here. Right now, Deer Plot On track to first. Second, on track to be Darkser. Third would be Botatron. Fourth would be Uninanimate. Fifth would be Token Abyss. Then it would be Rosebuds, Evo, Saki, Birchie, Ferrari, then Mashiro, then Moki, who is a lap down. Last of all the still running members here in the GT4 category. GT5 looks like it's going to come down to Fireball versus Postal Penguin. This is the fight we're going to want to watch here. That car right ahead, as we were on board Postal Penguin, that car right ahead, that is JJ Fireball. This lap, about 4 laps to knock out. And the fight for this stint win in the bomb category, it looks like it's going to really come down to it. AMS Bread was kind of in the picture earlier, but as this has gone on, he's just not had the ability to keep up with either of these two. And now we watch Postal Penguin as he continues to try and close down on JJ Fireball. Token Abyss coming back into the pits to make a stop with just 7 minutes left, so that's going to plummet them down the order just a little bit, I would imagine. But we want to see this fight between Fireball and Postal Penguin as they round turn 1. That's Fireball there, and that's Postal Penguin just following. About 2.5 seconds between them. Also, TBR Moki making another stop. And here come your leaders in GT5 into the frame. Have to deal with a little bit of traffic there. Finish this lap and probably get 2 more laps in. That's Evo who goes by Postal Penguin there as he continues to run down on Fireball. The time is almost out, and catching him is one thing. He's not officially caught him yet. Catching him is one thing. Making the overtake happen, something completely different. Oh, did someone else just drop out? No, okay, maybe it was just me. No, it's Uninanimate! That's another lag out, and with less than 10 minutes in the event, an Uninanimate has dropped out all of a sudden. With less than 5 minutes in the event. So that, in turn, will basically guarantee that Botatron should get 3rd. I think this puts Rosduds in the position for 4th. The thing is, though, that they are so far off from Darkser, about 2/3 of a lap back, it's not really going to help them. They need something catastrophic to befall Darkser if they want a shot at their team winning here. Still, we watch this now. Postal Penguin, with less than 4 minutes left, he's just on the edge of catching the draft from Fireball. If he catches the draft, off a fireball. Going down the straight here, the fight is on. Otherwise, there just might not be enough time. GT traffic coming up into the fray. That is your 6th place driver of Token Abyss. And shortly afterwards, UTP Saki, maybe Berkey, but I'm not so sure Berkey's going to be close enough to actually have an impact on this. Postal is not close enough to get to Fireball. Not yet. You're going to knock out this lap. Might get... Oh! And that's the GT! The one that just went by! That was Token Abyss. He just got done going by them and then immediately went off circuit. And now, here comes UDP Saki to make a fight of it. And this is going to be very problematic here for Postal Penguin because he has to deal with 2 fighting GT4 cars ahead of him. And he has to hope that they catch Fireball and start giving him some real headaches here because otherwise, that might have been all it takes. Oh, well, they've trapped him. They trapped Fireball on the outside. Was that enough? I don't think that was enough. The help was just not going to be enough by the looks of it. So as Token Abyss and UDP Saki run off into the distance here. This will likely be the last full lap that this duo of Fireball and Penguin will perform. The gap is just too big. Here goes NWR Berkey. The gap is too big. And it looks like Fireball is going to pull off this victory here for the bottom category. Oh, something's just happened there. I saw somebody go wide in turn 1, but the map didn't show it. Well, I thought I saw someone go wide there, but I guess not. Someone's definitely off now, and that is Mashiro V7. With just a minute and a half left, and the car is destroyed. The only good news is that he is so far ahead of Moki, he's not going to lose top 10. This just hurts the team's overall distance. So your winner is going to be this man here, FRA Deerplot, well clear of Darkser and everybody else here as the clock ticks down to the last few minutes, 10 hours, and it's all going to come down to this. We're looking at 3 different stint wins by the Mercedes Mafia over the course of today's running. He will knock out this final lap. Postal Penguin has completely lost touch with Fireball, so that fight is well over. 12 seconds left. It's going to be an orange and black Mercedes on the top once more. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Time's up. Over. Plow. So it will be Deerplot first. Second place will be SFM Darkser. Third will be Botatron, who seems to have completely fallen off near the end. Then RZR Rostuds, Evo, Token Abyss, and UDP Saki were right on top of each other at the end. Boy, they were right on top of each other. If anything, it looks like Saki would be the one ahead in this fight. Then it will be Berkey, followed by Ferrari, then Masashiro, who is going to be a lap down, and then Moki, who's 2 laps down, and then you get to your bottom category, GT5. Winner is JJ Fireball, followed by a very distant Postal Penguin. Oh, Postal must have had an accident that we missed, and that's why he fell off there at the very end. Then third place will go to AMS Bread. Then fourth will go to RM Lynx, who had to come back from what we believe was an accident early on to get this. Then Chris Hokage, will get 5th, and that should be enough to give this entry the win in the bottom category amongst all the C lobby entrants. And then AOE Mutiny is the last of all the drivers running here. And that pretty much wraps up everything here. We're going to wait for a little bit, and once we see FRA Deer Plot moving, we'll try and send out some invites to hear from some of our top finishing drivers here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Sunset Peninsula Raceway. The 10 hours are over, and final distances are being recorded right now. Your winner, as far as we understand, is FRA Deerplot in Stint 5 with SF and Darkster in second, and we believe that Darkster's team, where he's partnered up with Unku, might be the overall winner of all the GT4 drivers here in the C lobby. Botatron looks like they will have taken 3rd, then Rosted's 4th, Evo 5th, Abyss 6th, Saki 7th, then Berkey, Ferrari, Mashiro, and Moki. Is staying by right now, waiting for them to finish gathering data, but it looks like most of the drivers are leaving, so that might be a case that we're not going to hear anything from anyone else here. All right, throwing out invites, and coming into the party right now is FRA Deerplot. Deerplot, can you hear me? Yes, in the Xbox party, are you able to include your audio?
Sir, I can. I got you.
All right, once you've got that included. Deerplot, as far as I understand, it looks like you pulled off a victory here in the final stint, unless the data I got is completely wrong. Looks like you pulled off a victory.
Yes.
And well done on that as well. Basically running down and beating Darkster, he tried running extra stint just to run you down, but no, you pulled off a fantastic gap. What do you have to say about your run out there?
Just kind of switched my strategy up from my first two stints. I was doing a 2 medium strat, and I ended up scrapping that and went like an extra 2 laps on softs per pit, and then I did 1 medium. So I felt like the strat was just better than what I had initially before.
Well, it absolutely worked out. I believe you put a big chunk of the field a lap down as well. I do want to ask, though, now that this event is over, what other racing series in Forza are we likely to see you in over the next weeks or months?
I mean, if Toro, whenever Toro's next Enduro, I'll probably do it. I do some Enduros through EWC, or EMC, sorry, EMC guys. And that's about it right now.
All right, well, in that case, hopefully we get to see you again then in a few weeks' time once Toro knocks out their next Enduro. But in any case, mate, thanks for jumping in and talking with us. Great run to finish off a exhausting 10-hour time. Should probably get some sleep because this had to be absolutely draining for you.
Yeah, it was quite draining. I'm about to go have a couple beers though. We chilling. I ain't sleepy yet.
Word. That's all right. Don't seem to have anyone else willing to jump in and talk with us here. So with that in mind, that will pretty much wrap up our broadcast here for the 10 hours of Tora Enduro. For those of you involved in the Discord, you will probably get updates on where everyone's finishing results are over the next hours/days. Hopefully we don't have nearly as many, or hopefully they don't have nearly as many sides to look over as we have over most of the events this season. But until next time, I've been your host for today's broadcast, Insane Leader 13. Thank you very much for joining us today. Farewell, and goodbye, everyone.